Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today on Masech the Shavuot daf Chav Ches. We're going to begin on Chav Ches Amud Aleph, about 7 lines from the top. But we're going to begin by reviewing what we saw last time. Rabbi said on the previous Amud that if a person made a Shavuot on a bread and you ate some of it, so it depends. If you left over still a kazayas, then you can be nishol leha. The chayfetz therefore still needs to be here. There needs to be a kazayas to be shoyal on the nether. If it's less than a kazayas, not. So the Gemara wondered, I don't understand. Did you say shlo ochel? If let's say you said I'm not going to eat from this shlo ochel, I'm not going to eat, which means anything. So therefore, you should be violated even by the first kazayas. The answer is it's possible that you did say that, and nonetheless, since it works, this she'ela on the last kazayas, well, Migul will say it's on the first. Alternatively, it's possible that you said shalach lena, I'm not going to eat it. So if you're not going to eat it, that sounds like that only if you eat the whole thing. So then why is it a kazayas? Maybe even less than a kazayas should still be nishal. And the answer is because that's not considered to be a davar choshev. So meisvei. Misha another shtei nazirus. A person made a nazirus. He made 2. Umana rishayna. So he was counting for the first. You saw this in yesterday's daf. The hifrish had carbon. And he in fact even designated and set aside a carbon. Yachach nishal rishayna. And then he was nishal on the first. So now the first nazirus, if you will, since it was removed, also lashni rishayna. The second one will now take its place. Now this is interesting. This is actually a kasha. Says Rashi, Alma, what do we see? Avad the ozlo kula nishalel. Even though the entire thing is gone, right? Because you finished counting and everything, and all you're about to do is bring a carbon. Nonetheless, you could be still shayel on this. So then why do we say over here by kikar you have to at least have a kazayas? When it says hachamay skinon, what are we talking about over here is b'shloi kiper. It's where the person did not achieve kapar yet. I have assigned a keeper. It says that he did. So b'shloi galeach. And he didn't cut his hair. It says Rashi, Pesach oil moyed es roish nizro k'dechsiv. He had to have cut his hair by this area, and he didn't. That even as it's brought down Masechtas Naziros, if you do not have your hair cut, that will be ma'akiv you from being able to drink wine, to become tamla mesim, and therefore that not having cut your hair is a shiur, and therefore you could have been shoyal on that. Ibostanye golach, it says that he did that too, he shaved too. So Ravashi Naziris Karamas, 1 second. You're asking a whole kasha on Naziris. You can't ask a kasha on Naziris. Migarim l'shniya shlo tachoil. What was the reason why the second one didn't kick in? Rishayna. Rishayna ve'ena. So what does that mean? So the whole problem is because there was already a first one. So because of that, it's the only reason why the second one didn't work. However, in our case, you just made a simple shvua about stam, about 1 kazayas. Says Rashi, maybe once you're over in your shvua, you can no longer have it removed. And she'el will not help. But the kashlach nazirus lav kushi, it's not a question. Kloimer, says Rashi. Mi garmachal loimer shahayomim hamnuyim lo l'shniya nimnu. So why would it be that it was not counted? El rishayna. It was because of the first nazirus. The tema oslo rishayna. That the first one went. The tikshalach rishayna haisa garemis l'chal loimer kain. So even though the first nazirus is still finished, still he can be nishol. So that's fine. So Ameimer Oimer feel ochel kula nishol. The truth is, no, it's not a kazayas. Even if you have every part of the bread gone, your oiver, you can still be nishol. So if let's say you ate it b'shoigeg mechusar carbon, so what happens in that case? You're mechusar carbon. Says Rashi, carbon habile shiur v'chein malchus lemezid. So therefore, because of that, that's a shiur. Iba mezid mechusar malchus. One second, I want to make sure that I skip something here. Okay, Ramema Amar Fil Achol Kula Nishaleha. So Iba Shag Mechusar Carbon. Iba Meza Mechusar Malchus. Fine. Abel Kafsuhu Al Omud Lo Shmuel. However, not in the case when he's when he's tied to the post for Malchus. Then that point, no, that already it's too late. It's only when he's mechusar malchus, but not when he's already tied up. That's what it says. Kedishmul, Shmuel kafsuhu al omud. Once he's already tied up, baratz mebeistin, or he runs from beistin, potter. In that situation is potter, and therefore you can no longer be nishal. Velohi hasam ratz hachlo ratz. It depends if he actually ran or not. So that is the distinction. Okay. Fine. Amar Rabba, Shvua shlo oichel kikar zu, im oichel zu. So you make a shvua that I'm not going to eat this bread if I eat this bread. So you're connecting bread number 1 to an action from bread number 2. V'achalas rishayna, but you end up eating the first one. B'shaygeg, v'shniya b'mezid. The second one is b'mezid. So in that case, potter. So the first loaf has a condition on it. The second is the prohibited one. So in that case, you're going to be so in that case you're potter. Rishayna b'mezid. If again the first one was done b'mezid, v'shniya b'shaygeg, which was the one which is prohibited, then chayiv. Then you would be chayiv to bring a carbon oila v'yored on the shaygeg, because that's when you bring a carbon oil v'yored only on a shaygeg. And since the second bread is the one which was the Isser, Shvua on, so therefore only if that one is b'shaygeg are you chayiv. Shnein b'shaygeg potter. This is kind of interesting that if you're b'shaygeg on both of them, you're potter. Says Rashi, Shari b'achil rishayna ha'isa shvua royal l'choil uva ha'isa shah ha'ya shachuach. You forgot. V'chol of hashvua will asos the shniel. So therefore, since you forgot, you said a shvua I'm not going to eat if I eat this bread, which is mashma. Therefore, if at the time, since you forgot, therefore your shvua is not chal. Okay, and therefore that's the reason why you're potter of a carbon there. Chal chesem and beis. Shtein b'mezid, if both of them were eaten b'mezid, so achel l'tainei v'hader achel l'sura m'chayiv. If you ate the conditional one, which is the first one, and then the other one which was usher to you, then you are chayiv. Achle l'sura v'hader achel l'tanoi. What if it's the other way around? You ate the one which is usher to you, the second one. V'hader achel l'tanoi. So pluta Rabbi Yochanan very shlokish. L'man di'er hasra savik shema hasra chayiv. L'man di'er lav shema hasra potter. Because we don't know necessarily if we were going to end up doing this, and therefore it's a hasra suffix. So talon zu b'zu. Let's say you attach one bread to the next of both of them. Lo oichel zu. You say, I'm not going to eat this. Im oichel zu. If I eat this. Lo oichel zu. Im oichel zu. So you're like going back and forth. V'yachol zu b'zadain. Atzma b'shegagas chaverta. Let's say you forgot the Tanai. V'zu b'zadan atzma b'shkagas chaverta potter. Zu b'shkagas atzma v'zadan chaverta. V'zu b'shkagas atzma v'zadan chaverta. Then in that case you're going to be chayiv. If shtein b'shaygeg potter, as we saw before, shtein b'mezid ashniya m'chayiv harishayna puter Rabbi Yochanan v'Reish Lakish. So again, the machlokas whether or not this case will work is totally hasras suffix. Let's look at question 6. V'oichel zu imoichel zu. V'oichel zu imoichel zu. Ma din l'malchus b'oichel shtein b'mezid. Shtei ha-shvuos. So what is the din? So on the second one you're chayiv. because that was the Isser. On the first one, it's totally the Machlokas if Hasra Safik is Shema Hasra. Okay. Amra Mori Afanam Tanina. Okay, so Nidrish Shkogos Ketzad. So there's 4 different Nidarim, as we learned in Masechtas Darim. One of those is Nidrish Shkogos Ketzad. I'm not going to eat, drink. And then you remember you ate and drank. I'm not going to eat and drink. You ate and drank, so mutter. Just like when it comes to Nidrish Shkogos, Kach Shavuot Shkogos Mutaros. It's actually over the Masechta. There's different girses over here. So Shavuot Shkogos Hekadam Lav Ki Yagam Shemamina. Lav Shemamina. Look at this Rashi. Kidarava She Hatoyla Shavuot B'Davar Acher. When you connect one thing to the other, V'Kaima Tanai Tchila, and you do the Tanai first. Sar Shehi Zachel Shvuasa B'Isa Shah. You have to remember it at that time. The Imlav ain't a Shvuah Chal. Otherwise, it's not Chal. So this is the idea that says Rashi, Imachalti Hayoim, if I eat today, whosoever shall achal, and you thought they didn't eat, V'nizka sh'achal, Oiso haneder batel, moter b'oiso davar. So there's this notion that you at least have to remember your Shvuah at that time. And therefore, that's the reason why you're pater. Ifatani Shvuah be'rabba, pogebe avimi achua, imrele, Shvuah shalachalti, mahu. So enu chayev el achas. In that case, you're only going to be chayev one. Says Rashi, tal loimer shazu shvuah el shvuah. Armalei ishtabis, you're making a mistake. Hari yotza shvuah sheker, that the shvuah was a lie. Shvuah shal oichel teisha ve'eser mahu chayev al kol achas ve'achas. So what happens? The person makes 2 shvuahs, says Rashi. Hi shvuah shel oichel teisha teinim. I'm not going to eat 9 figs. Because v'omer shvuah shel oichel eser teinim. I'm not going to eat 10. V'ochel eser teinim. You ate 10 be'elam echad at the same time. Mahu tol loimer sheina shvuah achroina b'chalal shvuah rishoyin v'inzu shvuah chal shvuah. So the question is that a shvuah? Is that one shvuah and the next? When you say again, I'm not going to eat 9 figs. I'm going to eat 10. So chayav b'chalal v'achas. You're chayav on each one. So as if 9 you didn't eat, then 10 you didn't eat. You can't eat 10 either. So it's only it's only going to be 1. So let's say you did the other way around. You said I'm not going to eat 10 figs, and then 9. Again, ishtabrish is a mistake. Eser hu duloy ochel. Tisha mia ochel. You are chayiv on both. Armul Abai Zimnin, the Mishkachas Lahai Ifa, there's 9 to 10, Kedamar, the Amarava Shuashal Oichel Te'enim Vanovim. I'm not going to eat figs and grapes. Then the second time you said less, right? So you went like from more to less. The Ochel Te'enim, the Hifresh Carbon, V'achach Ochel Anovim, then you ate grapes afterwards. Carbon. Hachanami can go in the Shvuah shel oichel eser. You said 10 because we Shvuah shel oichel teisha. You ended up needing 9. V'hivrish carbon, you separated a carbon for the 9. V'achach ochel asiris, you ate the 10th. Havilu asiris chatzi shir v'chatzi shir lo b'chayev. So you wouldn't be chayev for that. Okay. Did you get all that? All right, let's see a couple questions. Question 7. Nishmal al omud shel even shehu shel zahav. I didn't do that. Okay, that's the only question. So again, lo yechel zu, im oichel zu, lo yechel zu, im oichel zu, ma'adinu malchus moichel shtein b'meziv. So again, the second one you're chayav because certainly it's on the Isser. The question is on the first, which is on Tanai, and that's totally on Hasra Savik Shema Asra not. TA 22. When we said, let's say once you're tied up onto the pillar in order to get Malchus, it says at that point, that's the havili kiloka. It's kilu like you actually got malchus. So madul maskan in the shon. So why in that case do you are you still why can you still be shoyal on that? Or it's kilu like you already got malchus. The answer is rak barotz. Only when you actually run away are you potter. Mash einkin below rotz or nifter. And the shom mishum hamalchus. So your taka could be still be a chacham could be shoyal on this neder. This is TA 22, and that's what we said. Of a kafsul amid low, that once a person's tied up on a pillar, maybe not, but that's not entirely true. Velohi hasam rotz hachalo rotz. It's totally if you ran away or not, whether or not you're going to be able to be nishal. So as long as he didn't run away yet, so then he's still he can still be nishal in the nether. Okay. Good. Let's look at question TB 23. So kan barotz kan hu lo rotz. Davka im rotz havi kaloika. Adkan.